Hello and welcome to this episode of the Ranting Atheist podcast. Today on Story of an Atheist, we'll be listening to a fellow Nigerian atheist sharing his deconversion story from Christianity. Part of what helped him was living this environment. You know, the environment also really affects how one thinks. If you live in Nigeria, to escape religion is nearly impossible. So he really had no choice. And one thing I relate to his story that he's also a son of a pastor. And in fact, this one is even worse a little. General overseer. So I want to. So he's still lucky for good reason. For very good reasons. So if you are yet to subscribe, please kindly subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Deezer, wherever you get podcasts from. If you want to get more information, check out the pod page of the Ranting Atheist. The link is in the show notes below. So now, let's go and listen to the deconversion story of Mikey. Hello, Mikey, and you are welcome to Story of an Atheist.
Thank you, Ranting.
Welcome. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome. Pleasure to be here. Listen to a lot of the podcasts, so it's nice to be on.
Thank you for listening. Really appreciate that. I work now. How that side now?
Yeah, work is working. You know, work is working. You have your main hustle, you have your side hustle. All of them is working.
This is our generation. We can't focus on one place.
At all.
Not one chance with that.
At all.
Our parents don't seem to understand. When they're you focus on your career. Focus on your this. I'm like, Baba, it's not easy. See, if that's a link go down, we are fucked.
Exactly. It's not even, it's just a matter of time because AI is collecting a bunch of jobs. It's just waiting. So all of these more arty things that's more difficult for computers to like this kind of things you're doing. That's more difficult for computers to replicate. This is where the future is, to be honest. This is where the future is.
We are not living in the same world they lived in. They need to understand that. If you don't want to, sorry.
100%.
Sorry, sir. Remove. All right. So now speaking with Mikey, and the listener would like to know a little more about you to the extent of which you are comfortable with. So you share with us like your location, what you do for a living, with age, Gen Z, millennial.
Right.
Are you single? Are you available? Etc. Etc.
Okay. All right. So Mike is a pseudonym. For reasons that you'll find out later on. I'm not. Yeah, that's why it's the pseudonym. I live in the UK currently. Okay. Currently married. Nice. Married relatively recently to love of my life, and there's so much to get into that I guess we'll find out, but like yes, that's obviously there's day hustle. Yeah, that's the basics. There's day hustle and night hustle, obviously, but that's there's lots to talk about. So
very necessary.
I'll let you ask the questions.
Okay. All right. So currently now with this whole religion matter, you know, this is the Ranting Atheist podcast. So, but what do you currently identify as? Agnostic, atheist, religious, which one?
It usually depends who is asking, right? Okay. So
it is asking. Okay.
So if you that's asking, I'll tell you like I'm in your club in the sense that I don't believe that there is I don't know what agnostic is, to be honest. So like I don't know the people who are people who claim to be agnostic. I don't know what that is, because like from where I'm coming from, an atheist is somebody who has no good reason to believe in God, right? You can't ever prove that there is no God, right? The same way you can never prove that there is God. You can't prove a negative. Right? So that's but like I'm as confident in gravity as I am as confident that there is no sort of traditional sense of the way people use God most of the time.
Okay. But there's no particular label, have you? You don't have
I mean, like,
your...
yeah. So, like, the
You
reason
don't do
why,
labels. Really, like, the way I see it,
yeah, because
it
the
kind
reason
of
why,
boxes you.
yeah, the reason why I don't do labels is because up till about a year ago, up to the pandemic, actually, I used to go to church.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
which is part of the interesting things I imagine you're going to hear about today.
Yeah.
I used to go to church, and like, so, like, if you ask me if um uh, because, like, when somebody says they're an atheist, like, there's one thing about the simplest part, which I told you, if you're asking me in the simplest part of what you believe,
Yeah.
I'm fully identified with the same thing that you do. But a lot of times when people say I'm an atheist, there's a lot of baggage that comes with it, in the sense that if somebody says that they're an atheist, people assume a bunch of other things
Yeah,
with
especially
that
religious
label.
people, right?
Yes, exactly. That
Okay.
I don't have any point in. Like, there's no point in, like, adding that
Explaining.
to, yeah. Like, it's long, and so for me, a label is only as useful as it can explain accurately what your position is. So if I'm saying that I'm an atheist and you start thinking a bunch of things that really don't apply to me, then I don't feel like that's a useful label for me.
Okay, all right. I mean, it makes sense. Makes sense. Me, just like personally, too, like, most of the time, most people, I like to tell them just to, like, fuck with them, like, just to get what I even find, like, people are not even aware of that possibility of somebody not. It's always like, hey, how you look like you're kind of
Yeah.
an alien to them, especially in Nigeria. Like, how is that possible? Even me myself, playing back to when I didn't even think of that possibility. Even while I was suspecting religion, I did not understand that it was even possible to say, I no do again. I no do again.
Yes, I mean, and that's a very good point, and that's why, like, as much as I don't myself go around shouting from the rooftops that I am an atheist.
Yeah.
I think in Nigeria, it's important that people do, so that people can know that there are normal people, like, just people who are normal, who just go about their day, that actually believe, that don't believe, and so that it can stop being strange. Because, yeah, I'm completely with you that I know that there's some people who just don't. There's some people who don't understand that, oh my God, it's possible for people to not believe. And
Yeah.
if they think you don't believe in God, they're probably thinking, I remember one of my first major, like, my second ex, one of the things she thought, when I told her, came out. I came out whilst I was dating her.
Okay.
And one of the things she said to me when I told her, I don't think I believe in God anymore, and I think I'm an atheist, was actually what I said. And she said, how do I know I worship demons? I was like, that was literally what she said. Exactly, right? I was like, so, but the thing is that she didn't even let me know that this was, she was still like, I can't. She first broke up with me. She was like, I can't be with someone like that. And then she now revealed, like, that she thought what that meant was I was worshiping demons. I was like, oh, no. I don't believe in the demons too. I don't believe in them.
Yeah, and
so
the reason is what has been presented to them from the inner circle.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why we, outside, some of us are those that want to make noise and let people understand this is what we are like. Like, we just did, but just regular, nothing special.
100%. So
nothing special
your
about
work is very, very important. People that need that just go around identifying and are just regular people, it's important.
Yeah. Yeah, the beauty of it, you are not obligated to identify. It is the beauty, you are free. It's not, Christians will always put it like, if you don't say you're Christian, you're ashamed of Christ. They start that guilt tripping. And everybody's situation is different. So, in fact, I even tell people, if you need to kabal, do leko santaraba shanda to survive. Almost spit that fire, Holy Ghost. Leko lakas kala shantaraba shindas. Speak it and survive. Because look at those that still pretend, the ex-Muslims. Those have to pretend, though. So we we're quite privileged.
Yeah, no, I feel, like, I'm not even, it's not like I know any Muslims, but I feel like these people have it harder than Christians about living their faith from all that I've heard. So
yeah. Makes sense. So now let's segue into your religious background. Give us the lowdown, the full lowdown.
Whoa.
What was it like?
Okay, all right. So first off, my father is a pastor.
Welcome. We're in the same club.
My father is a pastor. My father is not just pastor. My father is a general overseer.
God damn it!
Yeah,
that is heavy.
Yeah. So, and it's funny. So, like, obviously, brought up religious, very strictly religious, and unlike most people tend to think, there was nothing spectacular about my leaving the faith. It was a slow, very, very slow pace. I left my faith and joined, and left and joined about 3 or 4 times in between when I was, I didn't say my age. I'm in my early 30s.
Okay.
So when I was in my late teens, so from 16 to 19. From about 16, 17, actually no, I would say from about 18 to 21. Okay. I must have left and joined the faith like 3 times. Because like what would happen is that I would come here, and I live in the UK, like I said earlier. There's something about not being in Nigeria, not being in that space where everybody around you is reiterating that this is what we believe, and this is yes. Yeah. So like once you leave that space, right, it really does allow your mind. Like I wasn't surrounded by unbelievers. I just was surrounded by people who never spoke about God or Jesus or any of that. And then you just find out like, hey, life is moving on very much fine. Like smooth and small and small. But like one of the worst things that I think I tried to do was when I was trying to convert some of my friends, I tried not to be that annoying Christian, as I thought of it at the time.
You were serious enough to evangelize?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Like I mean, like I was an homo pastor.
I always felt embarrassed to evangelize. I won't lie.
Yeah. Oh no. Like so, like I wasn't doing it. It wasn't like I was doing it, but there's once in a while a topic will come out, like you will be watching something that together. So some of the comedies I used to watch, so like Ricky Gervais was one of the first people who I encountered that was dealing with like religion from a point of comedy, and it was like so like this is now not an avenue where I was seeking out, because I wasn't seeking out anti-religious stuff, but the guy was just telling jokes, but from his jokes he was making points that was difficult to shake off. But when the first time you hear these things, you're just like how whatever, like they're just funny, like they're just jokes, but they plant seeds in your mind that makes you go, okay, now let me think. And then I'll try and rationale it with my friends, and that's how it started. I try and rationale with my friends, and that's where some of the preaching would have come from. It's like, hey, like, I know you guys don't believe, but, like, if you were to give your life to Christ, that kind of thing, that things were going to be good. But, like, obviously that slowed down the further into my teens and my early 20s. And just one day, I was like, I think I must have been like an atheist privately for about 8 months before I was like, let me say it out loud. That was the big moment for me. And the first person I said it to was my that time girlfriend, to which she thought, like I said earlier, that it meant I was 17 months. Yeah.
And what year was that like?
So that would have been that first time was 2010.
Whoa.
2010, yes.
Now, wait, 2010. Wait, is that your third time out? You said you've gone in and out like 2-3 times.
That was the last time. Yeah, that was the last time.
Now, okay, wait. You skipped your second time you're out. What took you out of that second time?
The truth of the matter is, like, again, like,
Or
A
was
lot
it
of
that
times,
whole of backslide? Was it backsliding-ish? Do you
yeah,
feel, or you're just out? So how do you define it? Sometimes they will say they will dedicate your life. You feel like you're out. Then you tighten the belt again, be serious.
yes, yeah. So like that's a good point, Youre. So like those first two times, I can barely remember them, and the reason why is like I've listened to a lot of like your podcast and Curious John, right? His podcast. Like one of the things that people on the other side seem to think is that if you an atheist, like, oh, some big thing happened to you, and
Mm-hmm.
oh, that was it. It just wasn't big. There were points where like uh, in throughout this two times I left, I was trying to consume. I was watching a lot of debates. That's another thing I did. After that, like I think it was comedy that first made me challenge my belief, and then
Okay.
I just started watching Christian debates, Sam Harris, Christopher Hitchens, um, Richard Dawkins, all these people that were debating. They were debating other people, and oh my god, they absolutely they whooped every Christian, every religious person that came up against them. It just whooped them. I was like, and it was just, I was like, nah, this can't be right. Like maybe these people are just not good at it. But like every time they debated, they found like I saw 1,000 like it raised 1,001 more questions to my faith, and it just became harder to hold on to that kind of thing. And that's it.
All that
Yeah,
until that time in
yeah,
2010, where you finally say yes.
exactly. So I remember like because like the reason why I remember sort of going in and out is because I remember one time when I came back to Nigeria for holiday. I remember that I had left. I had said to myself that this doesn't make any sense. But then, like, I got in, and I don't know whether it was one morning devotion. I found myself laying my hands on somebody, like
You?
praying for some. Yeah, I found myself. It's like, but this is it's like I was like,
Wow.
wow. Okay, so I guess I've been caught back by the whole thing, and
Holy Spirit has arrested you again.
exactly. But like, you have to think about it from my perspective. Oh well, somebody who's young, relatively young, and um, surrounded by pastors, surrounded by like
The
a
whole
whole
religious
Christian
rhetoric,
family.
left, right, and center.
Like, how do you want to do it? Like, especially also like that time. Like, also remember that the lane of Hansef wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. I was told to do it. Like because again, I believe my parents thought they were bringing me up to be people that would take over the
Like
church.
David and Co.
Exactly. All
Empire.
those they thought that this was going to be my heritage, but no, it just didn't work. I mean, like when I went back home, I got caught up in it, and then like as soon as I left that environment, I was like, what the hell was I thinking? It's like,
Wow,
what was I thinking?
That's like power group think or something like that.
Oh yes, and I know like somebody who believes in this thing now would be thinking, oh no, but it's probably here, coming here that made me think. But you have to understand that nobody was telling me anything to think when I was here. It's in Nigeria that the society is basically enforcing me to align my thinking with something else. So that's the difference between no pressure, like all these things is difficult to occupy. It's difficult for them to stand their ground in where the water is. Like they say, there's a reason why these faith people, they say, you have to keep on watering yourself. It's because like you need to keep yourself locked in this environment
to keep reinforcing
because it won't survive. And you have to ask yourself, if you are a believer, like why? If it makes sense and if it's the truth, why do I need to? Why do I need to keep on telling myself, or why do I need people to keep on reinforcing that?
It's only a lie that needs that much
exactly
work.
Right. Exactly.
Wow. So that means, guy, this is 12 years. You've been 12 years free.
Yeah, and I think the most interesting story was part of. I mean, like there are several aspects. I always find I consider myself like I won't call myself a free thinker or independent thinker. I think that term gets misused and corrupted. But I would say that I think if you take a look at when I tell you about my life, you notice that like I don't necessarily need to be pushed one way or the other. I don't need people to push me one way or the other. So like for example, like even as a full out atheist, to like I said, to the people that I care about, like I tell people, hey, I don't believe in God, but I go to church, right? Like that's one thing that because I like the community in them, and I like there are people I know that are my friends, and I know like the sad thing is that I know that if I start speaking about my faith there, like I know like that dynamic will change completely. As in completely change. But like the fact that I can both admit that I don't have anything to prove. Like I don't have to prove that that I need. I know I don't need God, but I like community. And when you're in a different land, when you're in you're not in Nigeria, like it's good to have some sort of community with people that you share sort of common culture with. So like the Nigerians here, it's the way to meet Nigerians here is usually through church. Now, I say that I haven't been to church since the pandemic started. The pandemic started, I just got lazy, and I'm married now. So I don't need them anymore. I don't need them anymore in fairness, but like
the company you need.
Yeah, exactly. But like my wife's experience is actually something that was interesting because she started off as a Jehovah's Witness when I met her. Yeah, and honestly, so I didn't know how bad Jehovah's Witness stuff were, and she's oh my god. Jehovah's Witness, because like the perspective we get, right, is that Jehovah's Witness, they're just all like very nice, polite. They like to preach. They're very kind, but good Lord, it was until my wife lost two of her like friends from like that. Two of her best friends she lost when she came out of being a Jehovah's Witness. That I knew that this thing is serious. Jehovah's Witness they're a bigger cult than Pentecostals as far as I'm concerned.
Because even Pentecostals call them cults.
Yeah,
you should know how bad it is.
I didn't realize this thing, like honestly, like
I knew my parents usually say things about it, but I didn't fully understand. So now when I became an atheist, I started watching former Jehovah's Witness people telling their stories. I'm like, oh boy, yeah. And I had one in my office, and I started throwing questions, and he was confirming everything those videos were saying. I was like, oh,
Watchtower, Jehovah.
The firewall they don't put there, no be small.
Yes.
If you leave Jehovah, we will leave you.
As in, that's it. And that you have to think about like somebody again, like this reinforcement. You need to be in this space where we need to keep on telling you, what the actual truth is. Truth, quote unquote. And if you leave, they make it very, very difficult for your life. They make it very hard for you. So imagine growing up all your life in Jehovah's Witness, and then all of a sudden, because you don't believe, like that's it. All your connections, all the people you've grown, like, and if you have family, like your family is also supposed to cut connections with you. So
because they themselves will be punished for them to keep communicating with you.
Yep,
which is crazy.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. On that
so
side.
she is out of Jehovah's Witness and out of God, or
Yeah. It took a while. I remember when she was going through her process. I was like, I recognize all these stages. She went through the ranting atheist phase. She did. She went through atheist phase. If you're like, I'm very chilled now. Like the fact that I can go to church tells you how chilled I am about like
it's very telling your voice now.
Yeah. So
I'm listening to the episode. I was like, this guy is calm. Yeah, I'm not calm. I see this.
Exactly. Like all of this, I went through this stage. I was very upset. I had all that fire and all that, because like the truth about it is that, and that's why one thing I told her is like, I don't blame you at all. But this will pass at some point, because you find out that it's occupying much of your life that you could be doing something else with. And if you want to like do kind of something close to what you're doing, which is like actually very important. Like you put a lot of like you put a lot of energy into this that you're not going to get back. Like you invest a lot of energy into this, like you know, screaming. There's no point. All these people, if you scream at people on social media anonymously, and like you know you're not gonna do anything with it. Yeah, in 2 or 3 years, nobody remember that you use this thing, and your anger will pass. Because it passed for me. So my job for my wife was like, don't worry, I recognize the stage we've been here. It will pass and all of that.
And that's actually what made me to start this podcast. You know, I was very angry, but I knew that just going on social media and having back and forth doesn't make any impact.
Yeah.
So I now started this. So I was just speaking my mind on the first 5 episodes. Then someone advised that, guy, invite other atheists to come and share their own perspectives. And as they were sharing perspective, the anger was subsiding, but it's still there. But I was like, okay, this is this person's perspective. You know, me too. I was learning, you know, and it's also helping other people to learn and see that, okay, we are not alone. So, you know, where I aspire to reach a Curious John's level, where you can speak to people of opposing on the other side. Because right now I am not matured enough.
In your state. And honestly, like, you know, one of my, I think I mentioned this to Curious John as well, that like one thing that I do realize is that I remember one of the first person to captivate me most in that debating square was Christopher Hitchens. And Christopher Hitchens, what drew me to Christopher Hitchens was the fire that man had in his belly, like for his opponents in the debate. It was especially as a young person, it was such a wow, look at this guy, like in the trenches attacking my people. Like he's not taking anything he doesn't care at all. That was one of the things that drew me to him. So like the fire is necessary, like the fire will be helpful in capturing like the imaginations of especially like younger people and stuff like that. Like it keeps people's attention. I remember actually somebody asked him why he always is always like quite hostile, and he said something that stuck with me. Is like he knows what he's doing, that he wants people to remember him without overrepresent or misrepresenting himself. Like he's not coming here to he's not coming here just to like be polite. Like it's not gonna do much. Like you need to remember him so that you can listen to what he says. And that was one of the things that has stuck with me as well.
Hitch slap.
Hitch slaps. Yo, I watched all those YouTube videos. I've watched all of them. Like, you know, like when my wife was going down the YouTube, this thing, like she rabbit hole. Yeah. How was the Jehovah's Witness one? There's a special guy for Jehovah's Witness. That guy, but like don't worry. Lord Evans, yes. Yeah. You can know
it is sweet British voice.
Yes. Oh my God. That guy.
Or does also listen to Telltale? I think Telltale too is also. I don't know that she came across.
I don't know Telltale. I learned about Telltale from.
He's also a former Jehovah's Witness. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So that's rabbit hole is always, you know, the way YouTube does. Once you just start with one. To the recommendations we just start pouring in, like, we have been waiting for you. Take. Don't go anywhere. Take. You ought to leave your religion. Yeah, take. As in, all of them are just so interconnected. It's really amazing how the algorithm was doing the devil's work for us. So now you are deconverted. Now, looking at Nigeria from outside, now, how do you see religion fucking us in the ass? Do you see it's fucking us in the ass or in any way?
there's so many ways. It's ingrained into so much that we do. I don't even know. Like it's Nigeria's problem is plenty. Oh, Jesus, Nigeria's problem is plenty. I do think there is something somewhat deeper than religion that is ingrained in Nigeria that is fucking Nigeria up beyond. I don't quite know what it is, but here's the thing: that the reason why I say this is that whatever that thing is what allows religious people to thrive in 2022, where most people are losing religion. Like,
could it be magical thinking?
There's this. I don't know whether it's I don't know whether it's poverty and like a desperation for hope. Resources. I have no idea. I don't know what it is, but there is definitely something deeper in our culture but like certainly religion is exasperating a bunch of those things. It's the same way, like even when I think about our politics, it seems like to me like our politics is bad, but there's something that makes our politics as grotesque and as awful as it is. Those two things, both religion and politics, I think are affected by this same thing. We have this, there's a lot of credulity in Nigerians, and some of that is just from lack of education. Is the truth of the matter.
It's not even just lack of education, poor education, because the education system itself has been infiltrated by that mentality.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like one of the things that when you leave Nigeria, anybody who leaves Nigeria for abroad will learn quickly is that, oh my God, in Nigeria they're teaching us how to cram, and after they teach you how to learn, which is much different. It's like it's the thing that thing about how to learn is what will help you decipher a bunch more things in life. You know, like, hey, what are your sources? Are your sources from...
How did this happen? Why did this happen?
Exactly. Are your sources from reputable sites? What is what's secular thinking? All that kind of like things like...
Secular, the word secular was demonized all my life.
Yeah, can imagine. I know, right? Like secular is a funny thing because like I remember when it was during I remember my pastor here was because I had friends I used to go with that, you know, that knew where I stood with religion, or they knew closer to the truth where I stood. So like when we'd be listening to pastor and he'd condemn secular music, and I was like, do you know what secular music is? Secular music is just any music that isn't basically gospel music. Like your nursery rhyme is secular music technically. Like, you know, your ringtone, all like a bunch of things are secular music. Like, where are you drawing the line? Like, when you say don't listen to secular music, what do you think that means? That's a host of
to popular music. or the song for Foki.
It's not like if you want to say don't listen to, but I preach that, but like they know what they're doing when they want to demonize secular music, because when you say secular music, they're just reiterating this thing where it's like, see, outside of the gospel,
everything is shit.
Yeah, you can't trust in it, you can't believe in it. Science is secular now. Don't put your faith in that. That is science. You know, leave some for God. They know what they're doing.
It's good that you brought up this science matter. Continue.
No, it's just they know, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. I think the pastors know what will keep people thinking the way they think.
Yeah,
and I say that including my father.
We safe now. Really that I don't know, but me personally, when I'm in the house with them, I don't use my earpiece. I don't blast my music out so that I don't start answering jam question. when I start playing any Shekoteri song.
So how's
I am coming, I am coming, I am coming.
so like what's it like in your house? Do people know? Did people know about like
Well,
you in your
in the
life?
house now, it's only my parents that are at home and just me whenever I go home. My brothers have found a way to run. I've told my brothers are aware. Like
Okay.
the day I accepted the atheist label, the
Mm.
next time we saw face to face, I just told them, bros, I don't believe in the fucking God again. The
How
first
did-
one was just like, okay. The second one, he himself, he doesn't believe. But he doesn't want to come out fully. I'm just like, oh, you self, you did that game. Nice one. Nice. So imagine if you don't come out now, who know that I won't have an ally in my family.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
So,
And that's actually remember one of the things I used to hear from Sam Harris back when he used to do the atheist thing a lot more was atheists are probably one of the largest minorities, hidden minorities there are.
yeah.
It's just people are too afraid to say that they are, for understandable reasons.
Because they think they are the only ones.
Yeah, exactly. They think
They are
they're the only ones
crazy.
thinking this weird way. They think that it's just them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so moving on to science now. Especially with this, what scientific phenomena like evolution, like, okay, let me focus on evolution. How did you take evolution when you were religious and now as an atheist, looking back?
Yeah, I used to say that stupid thing that it now sounds stupid to me, but I guess back then it wasn't stupid. Like I used to be part of the "How can we have evolved from monkeys?"
And
Type
they
of
are still
people.
monkeys.
Yeah, and they're still monkeys because, like, honestly, it's that kind of thing that because what essentially people are doing is they're straw manning that argument because that's
Yeah.
not what it is, right? And like,
Yeah.
if you frame it like that, oh yeah, it's worth thinking. How come they are still monkeys if we evolved from monkeys? The thing is that we did not evolve from monkeys. We all have the same, like, if you think
Common
about it,
ancestor.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We have the same ancestors.
We are cousins.
Yeah, exactly. We're descendants of bigger, older apes, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. But like, people say, how come we all come from monkeys? Like, that's not the argument. That's not what people who actually believe in evolution think. But yeah, I used to be one of those people. But yeah, it's you grow and you learn.
I think whenever I look back on that, like those two ideologies were parallel in my mind and they never clashed.
Yeah.
Like when I'm in science class, evolution was just moving along. When I'm in church, praise the Lord, Adam and Eve, they fuck themselves or whatever.
Yo, like honestly, Adam and Eve, I remember asking like, yo, does that mean like if those two started the world, that means there was a lot of incest, right? Like just like
I didn't think
incest.
of that then. That
Oh
was a
my
funny
God.
thing.
I did, but I didn't dare ask the question because I can't ask the question, especially the person I was. And it's funny because like I think generally when I was younger I was a bit of a troublemaker. I had that rep in primary school. But I couldn't do it I couldn't really do it in church because if I was afraid of that getting back to my actual parents and yeah.
Wahala.
That doesn't seem like the kind of trouble I want to get involved with. But yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. So, did you face any growing up now when you're a teenager? Did you face any purity culture bullshit?
Any what?
Purity culture bullshit.
Did I? Yeah. No.
Or you were going through the corners.
I don't know. Like, so I'm trying to, in what sense would I have faced purity culture? Because like, I guess for the most part, I wasn't, purity culture often when you're trying to get in a group and they're like, hey, you're not, you have not, right? If I accept my mistaken, you don't reach, you have not really done this. To be honest, most people here, they just leave you to your own device. Like nobody's trying to Nobody cares.
Police.
Nobody
Yeah.
cares. That's the good and the bad thing about this place.
It's just ironic. Like UK are the ones that brought this Jesus to us, and he
Yo,
don't tire them.
yo,
They don't do
this is
again.
what I mean by there is something, right? Because like the people that brought this thing to you have left this thing and gone, and you
But
are still holding on
but
in
now you
Nigeria.
the whole pass they get PhD on top of the matter.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know what like you know, it's funny how this has all led to. I'm not one of the people who praise the gods or all the rituals or all the things we used to do before you know, the British came with the Christian God. But I'm not one of the people that say, oh, it was all rosy. I'm sure like we were doing some fucked up shit before that as well.
Of course we were.
But the problem is dogma, right? The problem is, you know, believing in something where there isn't good evidence to believe in it. But yeah, that's one of the that's one of the big issues with religion. It's the dogma. I mean, one thing I think, I don't know whether it's worth this raising here. I remember one of the things I discussed with Curious John was that I don't think this is for Nigeria yet. Definitely, it's not for Nigeria yet. But I don't also know that I want to live in a world without religion completely. Right. So this is where I differ from most. This is where I differ from a lot of atheists.
I listened to your episode. Yeah. I listened to it. I know.
Right.
I know where you're standing.
Right. So exactly right. So that's why I said like that's why it's difficult for me to take on any tag, because if I tell you I'm an atheist, you assume things about me that you're almost certainly wrong about.
Yeah.
So I don't have any problem with religion in the West at this point, because like they've gotten rid of a lot of all the shitty things that
except America.
Yeah, no, yeah, America is not. Yeah, America is a is a bit of very bad nonsense. Like, in fact, I think both the non-religious and the religious, they are both lost in America. That I feel they like
are pushing to the extreme ends.
Yes, the non-religious is going not all of the non-religious, obviously, but there are parts. I think there's something that's missing from the non-religious that is causing them to go into weird, strange beliefs in all of these things. And some really, they have their own dogma. And that's the problem with any belief, is like, is there good reason to believe in what you're believing? And some people, they don't care. Like, I told you, like, one of the reasons why I left Clubhouse is because like some people just, I hear it's like a mantra. It sounds so religious every time I'm on there. It's like people are just repeating platitudes that they've heard, but they haven't really thought about. It's like, it feels like to me like that. Hey, we didn't evolve from monkey. If we evolved from monkeys, why are we still here? Like I feel like I hear a lot of that kind of shit in Clubhouse. It's like, have you really thought about that thing that you just said that just came out of your mouth? I don't think you have. And like, even no matter how polite you said,
as a gotcha.
Yeah, no matter how polite you say it, and I tried to be as polite as I could on Clubhouse. It's like it comes with the vitriol of almost blaspheming in religion. So like,
and the issue with Clubhouse, me, when I'm doing gospels, it's never about the person on the other side. It's about the third party in the gulag listening to us going gospels, because both sides have their ego invested.
Yeah, I mean, like that. Yeah,
most of the time. So you're not fully listening to each other. You're just listening to reply. It's the person that doesn't have a dog in the fight that will take out a lesson from the other side.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder. I'm very eager to know like what happens with the people who. I wonder like how the audience perceives all of these things, because I'm wondering for like, so the people that I've had arguments with, I've had arguments with all sorts of people. there was the most respectable oh god, the most respectable debate I had was with somebody who thought who that Netflix was bringing in all sorts of things like, what did they say? They were worried about LGBT.
Oh god damn it!
Right. It's like, oh, Netflix is bringing all sorts of LGBT matters. Now, I could hear this person is an older man, right? Way, like, so this guy is like way, like he's gone. Like, this guy is gone. So like, but like, I don't think my approach to, there wasn't an audience there. There was like 4 of us anyway.
Okay.
So I don't think my approach to like call this guy all the worst names underneath the song would have had any impact on him or listeners. Like, but like I feel like sometimes the shouting that goes on Clubhouse, yo, oh my god, I've been pardoned. Like it's nothing I can't handle because like I've handled it from. I went into religious spaces. I used to be a fucking pest. I used to be a fucking pest, a nuisance back in the day. Like that time I was coming out as an atheist. I used to go in religious spaces and I was looking for
on
that.
Facebook,
I used to go on social media, Facebook, who is your daddy? Come and meet me. I know the truth now. All you bastards that were blinding me before with your nonsense. Like I used to be that.
For your
as in, so I mean, like I'm used to. It's funny, and religious people with all their religion will call you some of the worst things underneath the sun. It's like when you believe that you're doing what you're doing for good, yeah, you excuse almost anything. You excuse.
You have this righteous indignation. Like,
yes. So it is,
and that's what's driving the Christian nationalists in America. They feel they are fighting for God, for the country, all those kind of things.
It's so strange to me that those guys are coming back, because I thought, like, especially during those Obama years, I felt like they were generally seen as the crazy people, and like they were small
so that another Obama will not come up. That's what I see it as. The politicians they tapped into that undercurrent to bring up Trump. That's what they did. The current has been there for years, since the 60s, 50s. But they've been seen as mad people. So Trump tapped into that undercurrent and brought them up to mainstream.
Yeah,
they're just loud. They're not much. They're just loud.
You're right. I think a sitting president giving them credence, like no president would have like mentioned these people in positive and not like attacked them as people who were out of their mind. But like, this guy was like, yeah, no, they're nice people, like because they said nice things about him and they thought he was the chosen one, whatever bullshit. But yeah.
So let's to wrap it, to get to the end now. To do some counter apologetics. Have you ever? I'm sure you have come across someone giving you this Pascal wager scenario.
Oh, the Pascal wager.
Yes. How have you countered them?
Pascal wager is very bad. I can't believe. I remember. I think the person who popularized that thing in Nigeria was because my mother said this to me, was Papa Idahosa, the late. I still call him Papa. I call him Papa Idahosa because that's how I've heard him. This how deep in this. So anyway, but yeah, he was the one that popularized that argument. And the truth is, like, number one, I think the wager is clearly false because, number one, you're assuming that it's the Christian God that is right. So there are thousands of other religions, like, so the wager wouldn't be, hey, why don't you believe in the Christian God, and if there's nothing to lose, it's okay. There's also, what if you're breaking up Allah's God, you're breaking up like all the other ones in God, like, so there's this guy. So like, it's not actually the wager. It's not actually as clear as they think. And the other thing is that they make it as, oh, you have nothing to lose if you just believe in God. There's a lot to lose as a human being if you choose
your time, very limited time.
Goodness me, like
Imagine those that are committed, they at least 3 days a week, they must enter church.
as in
Fucking hell.
the amount of guilt, unnecessary guilt people carry, unnecessary
You
guilt
say
people
all
carry.
these Sunday Christians just to make you join the workforce.
Yo, oh my goodness. Oh,
That is a piece me off. I was like, come on, I know the cost. All this Sunday medicine, no problem. I go collect.
Yeah. That's one of the things I don't miss about church. You know, when I was in church, I actually used to work as used to work in the photography department. That's one of the that's just one of the departments that it's one of the things I actually built a skill around later in my life. So I used the church as a way to learn and like build my skills. So like every Sunday,
you use the church back, no time.
Look, these things, you think I'm like, I'm not going to church for anybody but for myself. Like, if it was not working for me, I'm not there. I've stopped photography now. I'm not there. Like, but there was a time that, I was interested in photography, and the church was a very good place for me to practice my skills every Sunday. But yeah, when anybody gets past the rage, it's just about like, hey, what works for you now? Like, fuck what everybody else thinks. Fuck what everybody. Fuck what everybody else thinks. What works for you? Like, what is the thing that's going to?
That's the cocoa.
Exactly.
That's the cocoa of this life. All right, now, so bro, what resources can you recommend for us? We atheists basically the verse. Some of us that have moved past the vexing, like like books, podcasts, videos. At least they are recommended Hitchens, so we know that standard.
Those guys are so difficult to be. I don't know if people. I like to recommend like things that are widely accessible because just in case like people are like they're short for money or anything, but like there are audiobooks of some of these people's Hitchens God is Not Great book, which is an absolute classic. God is Not Great and How Religion Poisons Everything, I think is the full.
Religion poisons everything.
Yeah, I bought that book for my wife, which she really loves. And there is also Letter to a Christian Nation by Sam Harris. Okay. I'm thinking about okay, so if you browse around YouTube, the people who are doing I haven't been to atheist spaces in a while, but I guess Rationality Rules is still doing he's still doing decent work, so check this guy's sites out. But like more importantly, find a community with atheists like the Ranting Atheist, being there, not because like they will completely reinforce what your thoughts are, but like you're going to have a lot of questions. You're going to you need somebody to guide you around this the path you're on if you're like trying to navigate how to get out of it. And yeah, so like find a community that can do this for you, but like you don't need it to see the truth. I promise you, if you do like 3 to 6 months with these people and you want to just go on your own, you are free to go on your own. Nobody will hold it against you. Nobody will badmouth you. Like I have Christian friends. Like like the truth is that some of the my true Christian friends, they don't mind that I'm atheist, obviously, but I know there's some Christian friends that would hate for me to come out as an atheist. Yes.
Unequally yoked.
Exactly. That quote. I lost babes because of unequally yoked.
Oh boy.
It is what it is.
You don't go better for your unequally yoked.
I swear to God. Like that's the thing. When I was still in church now, so I told you I still went to church. So like a couple of the babes I met first, they were in church. After the first 2 church babes did me things, like I was like, I'm never going back to. I'm not dating church babe again. And then my yet future wife came, and I thought I thought that, okay, she's just she can't be religious. The way she spoke and all of that. Turned out to be Jehovah's Witness, but that shit changed. I was like, all right, that's a sign. I'm marrying you.
Fantastic. Maybe one day she will come and tell us her own side of the story.
Yeah, oh my God. Yo, her side is deep. Her side is deep because that Jehovah's Witness.
We do. So where can we find you online if you want us to find you?
I'm Dr. Badmouth on Twitter. If I don't know whether anybody wants to find me, to be honest, but if you have questions, yeah, because I think at some point Curious John pointed somebody out to me because they thought I went through a similar experience. So if you think I will be of help to you, or if you have any questions to ask me, I'm available.
Fantastic. So, Mikey, thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us.
Thanks,
I really appreciate this. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I hope you enjoyed Mikey's story. If you are yet to subscribe, Apple, Google, Spotify, many places you get podcasts from. Also, if you like to drop a voice message, please use the link below. You see SpeakPipe. You can drop a 90-second message. We really love to hear from you. Anyway, have a great week, and I'll catch you on the next one.